Zhu's mom lost it. Her voice was sharp as a whistle. Slander! She said herself she wanted to be my daughter-in-law. Now she's denying it? She held her son's face, her tone full of pride. My son is an executive, handsome and successful. She's the one hitting the jackpot. Jueqiang played along, puffing out his chest, looking all proud and full of himself. The officer looked at Jueqiang. And you are? I'm their son, Jueqiang, he said, standing tall. I'm also a senior operations manager at Changsheng Group. Our Changsheng Group will never let someone bully the elderly and destroy other people's property. Officer, this is obvious. This girl is just dodging responsibility. The name Changsheng Group made my heart skip a beat. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. Everyone around was confused and turned to look at me. Of course they didn't know. Changsheng Group was my father's company. I took half a step forward and read the info on Jueqiang's badge. Name, Jueqiang. Department, Operations, position, Junior Associate. So he was only a junior associate, not the senior operations manager he claimed to be, let alone an executive. I thought back to my father's company. I had just been there last month. Operations was on the 12th floor. The director's last name was Chen, a sharp woman in her 40s. That day, she even bought me coffee and talked about recent projects and operations. Holding back my laugh, I spoke calmly. I request on-site mediation. To be paused for now. A new related factor has come up in this case. The officer looked at me. What related factor? I pointed at Jueqiang's badge. This gentleman claims to be a senior executive at Changsheng Group, and the chairman of Changsheng Group is my father. The air froze. Jueqiang's face froze instantly. He instinctively covered his badge, but his parents still hadn't caught on. His mom was still wailing, "Who's your dad?" What does that have to do with us? Pay up! But Zhu's father noticed something was off. He tugged at his wife's sleeve. The officer looked at me with a hint of doubt. You're saying the chairman of Changsheng Group is your father? I pulled up a photo on my phone. It was from an industry association event. My father and I stood on the stage, with Changsheng Group's huge logo behind us. The officer took my phone and looked, then looked back at Jueqiang. You're with Changsheng Group too? Jueqiang opened his mouth, but no sound came out. His Adam's apple bobbed a few times, like he wanted to speak, but something was stuck in his throat. Can I see your badge? The officer's tone was calm, but to Jueqiang it probably sounded like a verdict. Jueqiang stiffly took off his badge. His fingers were shaking. The badge wobbled twice in his hand before he passed it over. The officer checked the badge, then looked up at his face, then looked down at the position field, associate. Didn't you just say you were a senior manager? Sweat broke out on Jueqiang's forehead. I'm about to get promoted. I already talked it over with leadership. His mom finally realized something was wrong. She moved closer and tugged his sleeve. Son, what's going on? What chairman? What associate? I gave them no time to breathe. Officer, based on this new information, I request first, an investigation into Jueqiang impersonating a senior company executive to commit fraud. Second, an investigation into his parents harassing me under the excuse of marriage. Third, an assessment of the damage caused by his whole family to my car, and accountability. Fourth, an appraisal of the so-called Qianlong jade bracelet. If it's fake, that may constitute fraud. The officer wrote everything down and looked at Jueqiang's family. Do you have anything to say? His mom jumped up, her voice sharp as nails on a chalkboard. She's lying! How could her dad be the chairman? Look at what she's wearing. Does she look like some rich girl? I looked down at myself. A white t-shirt, jeans, and canvas shoes. That was my usual outfit. I had taken the day off, planning to grab food at a noodle shop, and then browse a bookstore. So I was dressed extra casually. Clothing has nothing to do with family wealth, I replied calmly. But if you need proof, I can contact Changsheng Group's legal department right now, or have my father speak directly with the police. I pressed a speed dial on my phone. Jueqiang jolted like he'd been shocked, and lunged over to grab my phone. No, don't call! The officer reacted fast, and blocked him at once. Mr. Zhu, calm down. Keep this up and we'll take enforcement measures. The call connected. Attorney Chen, this is Yang Xuan. My voice was steady. I'm at the entrance of Old Lou's Noodle Shop on University Road. The other party is Jueqiang from Changsheng Group's operations department. Employee ID, HY2210473. He and his parents are harassing and extorting me. On the other end of the line, Attorney Chen's voice was as cold as a scalpel. Have you called the police? The police are already here. Hand the phone to the officer. I passed the phone over. The officer took it and stepped aside to speak quietly.